The lack of safety precautions in electrical vaults is a serious concern, and there are a number of reasons why this may be the case. Firstly, a lack of awareness. Many people, including some employers, may not be fully aware of the extreme dangers posed by high-voltage electrical equipment. Secondly, cost. Installing gauze and lighting in electrical vaults can be expensive, and some businesses may be reluctant to make these investments. Thirdly, industry standards. The current industry standards for electrical safety may not be stringent enough to prevent accidents in all cases. Fourthly, enforcement. OSHA and other regulatory agencies may have limited resources to enforce safety regulations, and some businesses may be able to avoid compliance without facing significant consequences. There have been a number of incidents in the past involving injuries or deaths due to unguarded electrical equipment. As a result, there have been some efforts to strengthen safety regulations and industry standards. For example, in 2019, OSHA issued a revised standard for electrical safety in the workplace, 29 Code of Federal Regulations 1910.335. This standard includes requirements regarding electrical equipment, including high-voltage transformers and other equipment that could pose a hazard to employees. However, these regulations may not be comprehensive enough to prevent all accidents. Ultimately, it is important for businesses and individuals to take responsibility for ensuring the safety of electrical equipment. This includes installing appropriate guards and lighting, providing adequate training to employees, and following all applicable safety regulations. When dealing with electrical systems, safety should always be the priority. High-voltage environments, in particular, require rigorous adherence to safety protocols to prevent potentially fatal accidents. The installation of physical barriers or guards around energized bus bars and conductors is a fundamental safety measure. These barriers prevent accidental contact with live parts, which can occur due to human error, inadvertent contact with tools, or simply being unaware of the proximity to a high-voltage source. The design and placement of these guards must be carefully considered. They should be constructed of non-conductive materials to eliminate the risk of electrical shock if the guard itself is contacted. The guards should also be robust enough to withstand accidental impacts and prevent penetration. Furthermore, they should be designed to allow for adequate ventilation to prevent overheating of the electrical equipment. In addition to physical barriers, clear and prominent warning signs should be posted in areas where high-voltage equipment is present. These signs should clearly indicate the presence of a high-voltage hazard and warn personnel to stay clear. The signs should be easily visible and legible from a safe distance. Regular inspections of electrical vaults and equipment are crucial for identifying potential hazards and ensuring that safety measures are in place and functioning correctly. These inspections should be conducted by qualified personnel who are trained to recognize electrical hazards and understand safety regulations. During inspections, pay close attention to the condition of insulation, the integrity of grounding systems, and the presence of any loose or damaged components. Any identified hazard should be promptly addressed and corrected. Adequate lighting is another essential safety feature in electrical vaults. Sufficient illumination allows personnel to clearly see the equipment and identify potential hazards. Lighting fixtures should be properly installed and maintained, and they should provide adequate light levels throughout the vault. Emergency lighting should also be provided to ensure that personnel can safely exit the vault in the event of a power outage. In addition to physical safety measures, comprehensive training is essential for all personnel who work in or around electrical vaults. Training should cover the hazards of high-voltage electricity, safe work practices, the proper use of personal protective equipment, and emergency procedures. Personnel should also be trained on how to identify and report potential hazards. Regular refresher training should be provided to ensure that personnel remain up to date on safety procedures. Personal protective equipment, PPE, is a critical line of defense against electrical hazards. PPE includes items such as insulated gloves, safety glasses, and flame-resistant clothing. The type of PPE required will depend on the specific hazards present in the work environment. It is important to select PPE that is appropriate for the voltage level and potential arc flash hazard. Personnel should be properly trained on how to use and maintain PPE. Grounding is a fundamental safety principle in electrical systems. Grounding provides a low-resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip circuit breakers or fuses and to energize the circuit. Proper grounding is essential for preventing electrical shock and minimizing the risk of equipment damage. Grounding systems should be regularly inspected and tested to ensure that they are functioning correctly. Lockout-tagout (LOTO) procedures are essential for preventing accidental energization of electrical equipment during maintenance or repair. LOTO procedures involve disconnecting the equipment from its power source and locking and tagging the disconnect switch to prevent it from being turned on. LOTO procedures should be followed whenever work is being performed on electrical equipment. Arc flash is a dangerous phenomenon that can occur when a short circuit or other electrical fault creates a high-energy arc. Arc flash can cause severe burns, blindness, and even death. Arc flash hazard assessment should be conducted to determine the potential arc flash hazard in a given location. The results of the assessment should be used to determine the appropriate level of PPE and to develop safe work practices. The National Electrical Code (NEC) provides comprehensive guidelines for the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and it reflects the latest advances in electrical safety technology. The NEC is adopted by many state and local jurisdictions, and it is considered to be the standard for electrical safety in the United States. OSHA also has regulations that address electrical safety in the workplace. These regulations cover a wide range of topics, including guarding of electrical equipment, lockout-tagout procedures, and personal protective equipment. Employers are required to comply with OSHA regulations to protect their employees from electrical hazards. In addition to the NEC and OSHA regulations, there are also a number of industry standards that address electrical safety. These standards are developed by organizations such as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers (IEE) and the National Fire Protection Association (NFPA). Industry standards provide more detailed guidance on specific aspects of electrical safety. The design of electrical vaults should incorporate safety features to minimize the risk of accidents. Vaults should be adequately ventilated to prevent the buildup of hazardous gases. They should also be equipped with fire suppression systems to extinguish fires quickly. Access to vaults should be restricted to authorized personnel only. The location of electrical vaults should be carefully considered to minimize the risk of flooding or other environmental hazards. Vaults should be located in areas that are not prone to flooding or water damage. They should also be protected from extreme temperatures and humidity. Regular maintenance of electrical equipment is essential for preventing accidents. Equipment should be inspected regularly for signs of wear and tear. Any damaged or worn component should be replaced promptly. Electrical connections should be tightened to prevent overheating. The cleanliness of electrical equipment is also important. Dust and dirt can accumulate on equipment and reduce its insulating properties. Equipment should be cleaned regularly to prevent this. When working with electrical systems, it is important to be aware of the potential for static electricity. Static electricity can build up on clothing and equipment, and it can discharge when a person touches a grounded object. This discharge can cause a shock or ignite flammable materials. To prevent static electricity buildup, wear clothing made of natural fibers and use anti-static sprays on equipment. It is also important to avoid working in areas with low humidity, as this can increase the risk of static electricity buildup. When working with high voltage equipment, it is important to maintain a safe working distance. The safe working distance will depend on the voltage level and the type of equipment. Consult the equipment manufacturer's instructions for the recommended safe working distance. Never approach high voltage equipment unless you are properly trained and equipped. If you are unsure about the safety of a situation, stop work and consult with a qualified electrical professional. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Employers, employees, and the public all have a role to play in preventing electrical accidents. By following safety regulations, using safe work practices, and being aware of the hazards of electricity, we can create a safer environment for everyone. Always remember to de-energize and lock up tagout equipment before performing any maintenance or repairs. Verify that the equipment is de-energized using a voltage tester before touching any conductors. Use insulated tools and equipment when working on electrical systems. Never work alone when working on electrical systems. Have another person present who can assist you in case of an emergency. Be aware of your surroundings and identify potential hazards before starting work. If you see something that looks unsafe, report it to your supervisor immediately. Do not take shortcuts when working on electrical systems. Always follow safety procedures and use the proper equipment. If you are not qualified to perform a task, do not attempt it. Call a qualified electrical professional. Electrical safety is not just about following rules and regulations. It is also about developing a safety mindset. A safety mindset means being aware of the hazards of electricity and taking steps to prevent accidents. It means being proactive and identifying potential hazards before they cause harm. It means being responsible and taking ownership of your safety and the safety of others. To reinforce safety, consider implementing regular safety meetings to discuss recent incidents, review safety procedures, and provide updates on new regulations or technologies. Encourage employees to share their experiences and concerns related to electrical safety. These meetings can also be used to conduct drills and simulations to prepare employees for potential emergencies. Incorporate electrical safety into the company's overall safety program. This includes setting safety goals, tracking safety performance, and providing incentives for safe work practices. Recognize and reward employees who demonstrate a commitment to electrical safety. A strong safety culture is essential for preventing electrical accidents. Creating a safety culture requires leadership commitment, employee involvement, and continuous improvement. By fostering a safety culture, you can create an environment where electrical safety is a priority for everyone. Regularly review and update electrical safety procedures to ensure that they are consistent with current regulations, industry best practices, and the specific hazards present in the workplace. Solicit feedback from employees on how to improve safety procedures. Conduct periodic audits of electrical safety practices to identify areas where improvements can be made. Use the results of these audits to develop and implement corrective actions. Share lessons learned from incidents and near misses to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. Maintain accurate records of electrical safety training, inspections, and maintenance activities. These records can be used to demonstrate compliance with regulations and to track the effectiveness of safety programs. Make electrical safety information readily available to employees. This includes providing access to safety manuals, procedures, and training materials. Post safety reminders and warnings in prominent locations throughout the workplace. Encourage employees to ask questions and seek clarification on any aspect of electrical safety. Consider using technology to enhance electrical safety. This includes using remote monitoring systems to detect potential problems, using drones to inspect overhead power lines, and using augmented reality to provide real-time safety information to workers. Stay up to date on the latest advances in electrical safety technology and incorporate them into your safety programs as appropriate. Remember that electrical safety is an ongoing process. It requires constant vigilance, continuous improvement, and a commitment from everyone involved. By working together, we can create a safer environment for ourselves and for future generations. Always treat electricity with respect and never underestimate its potential for harm. Be aware of the hazards, follow safety procedures, and use common sense. By doing so, you can protect yourself and others from electrical accidents.